Hi, it's Marcus Bonfanti here, and following the sad passing of Chuck Berry this month, the good guys at MusicGurus asked me if I'd do a little short video on his guitar style, because 10 years ago I had the honour of opening for him for 2 nights at London's Jazz Cafe as part of his 80th birthday tour. Now this was a big deal for me because I'd grown up listening to Chuck Berry records. My dad always played Chuck Berry to me when I was younger, and I'd only ever really heard his music from sort of cover bands or on record, or myself sort of trying to, you know, play it with bands, and it never sounded quite right. So seeing him up close and personal doing, you know, Chuck Berry songs the right way was just incredible. I learned a lot from it. It was a funny gig because you read a lot about Chuck Berry, hear a lot of stories, and he's exactly as you would think. He was booked for a 70-minute set, and he was in that building for 72 minutes. He started playing the guitar as he walked to the stage, and about a quarter of the way through the last number, someone obviously told him his time was up. He just unplugged and walked off. But I think it's all part of the show. Everyone expects it and everyone loved it. So I'm going to focus on a great song of his and a real iconic riff of his. It's Roll Over Beethoven. And it's got all the hallmarks of Chuck Berry's style and some interesting you know, uses of the downstroke. So I'm going to play it to you, and then we'll talk about it in a minute. So there's the riff at speed, and you know, it's a great riff. But I'd like to talk about the intention behind it and how to kind of get it sounding as close to Chuck as we can. So what I'll do is I'll just slow it down a little bit so you can see where it's at, and then we'll talk about a few of the things in it. So here it is, about half the speed. So there it is, a little bit slower, so you can kind of see what's going on right-hand wise. The interesting thing with the right hand is he never used the little finger that much. All the double stops, which is a famous Chuck Berry technique, were all with the third finger, so you get that really great pull-off feel. And also the double bend, which you'd have seen in the second half of the riff. He's always bending to get to that major third, and I don't think you can overbend that too much, because that's where the sort of the cool and the blues is kept. Talking briefly about the right hand technique, a lot of guitar players would sort of play that tune, I mean myself included if I wasn't such a big Chuck Berry fan, as a sort of alternating picking kind of thing. Kind of easier, and it has that sort of really very even flow to it, but I don't think it sounds right. I think it's got to be played the way Chuck would play it, which was sort of more downstrokes than upstrokes. To be honest, almost all downstrokes, and a lot of downstrokes where you'd expect upstrokes. So there's just a little brief sort of rundown of how to play that riff and how to get the right intention behind it. Yeah, remember to use that third finger instead of your little finger. Overbend them double bends to get that real bluesy feel, and you know, don't slack on the downstrokes. I'll play it one more time, and yeah, you can see what we're talking about. So there it is, Roll Over Beethoven. Have some fun with it.